What's up, guys? It's your girl Tree with another tip from Tree Tips Media. Okay, I got Inner City Press. Shout out to Inner City Press, guys. Inner City Press is in the courtroom with Diddy. You know, cameras can't be in there, but I think they can record because he's transcribing out everything that's being said. And guess what? Your girl Tree is gonna read it off to you. Okay, so let's get into it. So he's in real time. It's actually over. And I'm not going to give you the results of the bail until after this. You probably already heard. But anyway, Sean Combs is at defense table, still in black shirt. Not in a tan uniform, he said. Two U.S. Marshals is seated behind him. They're waiting on Judge Andrew Carter. Now, this is a new judge that's coming through. This is not the judge from yesterday that denied bail. All rise, government. So the government speaks first. The freak-offs were elaborate. They began in 2009 and extended into this year. These freak-offs were arranged with his entourage. The defendant used narcotics so that the victims would continue ketamine, GHB, and others. The state attorney also says the defendant would record these freak-offs at least in part to use them to blackmail. We have an email. A victim says, "You were going to make me, I'm not going to say it on the public record, or you were going to leak some FO out. FO shit." So that's what a victim they have in recording told him. A different victim wrote, he said he was going to expose me with the sex tape. I was drugged. That's just two examples. And so is Rich when the defendant's submission filed today accuses the victims of extorting. He's the only extorter. We seized 6 guns. They were in the defendant's room and he had access to them. We are focused on the defaced guns in the defendant's closet. This is not about security, but dangerousness. The security team is the same one he says would monitor him. The head of his security has now been served with a subpoena, given that we've learned about his role in the offense conduct. Now, about the hotel assault. So his head of security done been served too. Uh-oh. Now, about the hotel assault. This is the Cassie piece. Yesterday, defense counsel called it a fight in a relationship, but it's trafficking. The defendant had a freak off on March 5th, 2016. We have evidence that there was one commercial sex worker there in the room during the assault. She isn't even wearing shoes. She's in danger. Defendant storms out in a towel. We have a message from the victim. I still have crazy bruising. He claims he wanted to get his clothes back, but that's not what happened. She tried to escape a room with the defendant and a commercial sex worker. She fled without shoes. Immediately after the assault, the defendant sent messages. Call me. The cops are here. I got 6 kids. Yo, please call. I am surrounded. You gonna abandon me all alone? The defendant knew he had done something that could elicit police response. He covered up what he did. This year, after the surveillance video came out, only then did he admit that it was him. Yesterday, it was claimed that his clothes were taken. But that's not what happened. Why drag the victim back down the hallway to the room? The indisputable evidence makes clear you cannot take the defendant at his word. March 5th, 2016 is far from the defendant's lone act of violence and obstruction. Freak-off activity is the core of this case. They use force, coercion, and drugs. Our investigation is ongoing. Half a dozen escorts is just the tip of the iceberg of the number of escorts who have participated in these freak-offs. This case is charged sex trafficking by force, fraud, and coercion. The acts were not consensual. The defense is arguing that anyone in a freak-off wanted to be there. That's not the law. When people are threatened with exposure and are beaten, they cannot consent. That is trafficking. Victims' heads are slammed against car windows. Here are some texts. When you get fucked up, you knock me around. I'm not a rag doll. I'm someone's child. We have witnesses who witnessed the injuries. This conduct happened behind closed doors, in houses, hotel rooms, and cars. Judge Tarnowski was concerned. Judge Tarnowski found that she did not believe defense counsel can control the defendant. Consider the Mercedes case in this circuit. Reversing a decision to release a defendant, let's turn to obstruction. Witnesses have expressed extreme fear of him. They have directly contacts a victim in November 2023, constant contact with witnesses to the charged conduct after subpoena before government interviews. Two of these examples are there are communications between the defendants and a witness, 13 contacts. He done contacted everybody. Judge Carter says, 13 contacts with two people? The U.S. State Attorney. 14 contacts between the defendant and the witness. Also, he outreached to a witness he had not been in contact with for several years. After the grand jury subpoena, he used intermediaries. He used third-party people. He recorded the conversation on another person's device. In November 2023, he twice called a victim. On November 19th, he received a text from this other person in response. It reads, I feel like I'm reading my own sexual trauma. 3 pages, my experience. Didn't he know, y'all, that they was recording him at wiretaps? So the state attorney says the defendant called her and gaslit her, trying to convince her it has been consensual. He repeatedly said he was not supposed to be speaking on the phone. He tells the witness not to text him. The defendant said, if support, nothing to worry about, money. The state attorney says the defendant wrote, his financial advisor should not make a mistake and not get that rent paid. This was obstruction. So he was talking in code, y'all. We cite U.S. versus Levante, a defendant who fed a false narrative. That's what's going on here. The state attorney said, I'll go over the cases. The judge said, that's not necessary. I'm familiar with those cases. The state attorney said, a recent civil suit last week, Don Richard filed a civil suit. She was in a band also with Miss Harper. Miss Harper issued a statement after 128 phone contacts. We didn't deal with Lawrence Ray case. Magistrate Judge Fox ordered detention even on one victim, but the judge found that corroborated by documentary evidence. Judge, anything else? A few more things, the state attorney said. How many? The state attorney said 3 minutes. Okay, guys, this is part 1 of what happened in court today with Diddy on his second bail hearing. This is the appeal bail hearing. This is your girl Tree. I'm going to do part 2 right now. Smooches. Guys, it's your girl Tree, and this show is being sponsored by AEG Solutions. They are a financial private funding company. What they do basically is get your business going. They get you the money and the credit for your business. They show you the steps to go through. They counsel you through it. They have CPAs, financial advisors. They have, you need it, they have the solution for it. They are AEG Solutions. My boy Johnny owned the company. Hit him up. I'm going to leave his email and his telephone number at the bottom in description. Hit him up, guys. It's your girl Tree. Smooches. What's up, guys? It's your girl Tree with part 2 of In Court with Diddy from Inner City Press. Shout out to them. Okay, so the state attorney is saying traveling to New York does not address the danger to the community. I am here seeking detention, but I note that the bail package does not have enough conditions that focus on obstruction, and it couldn't. He's been involving other people. The state attorney says the defendant should be detained pending trial. Judge says defense. Combs' lawyer, Mark, I'll just say A, attorney A, which is Combs' lawyer. Let me start with Miss Harper. I was called by her and a lawyer. I said, do what you want, make a statement or not. I later found out that she did. Combs' second lawyer, Attorney Garagos, Miss Harper felt she was being besmirched. We did speak with her at 2 a.m. on the 11th. Judge, after speaking, what would be the reason for Mr. Combs to continue contacting her? Garagos, she was concerned she was in the media. His other attorney, I have brought today that head of Sage Intelligence. We are proposing that Sage Intelligence personnel, all former law enforcement, will be monitoring the residence of Mr. Combs 24/7. They will have 1 or 2 employees there at all times. His second attorney also say there will be a visitor log. Only pre-approved could come in. We could give the list to the court. Mr. Combs will not have a cell phone or access to the internet. That way, the witness intimidation completely nullified. Boy, oh boy. His attorney also says that having Sage Intelligence on site will do what we have to do, even through there. That's kind of say 3 there, but anyway. Oh, even having 3 there. If don't believe that Mr. Combs' actions in coming to New York are only about risk of flight, it shows he is deeply respectful of the court's authority. He is responsible. Mr. Combs knew he was under investigation, his attorney says, and gave us his passport. This is not defense lawyer theater. We took the passports of 5 of his family members. We have a letter of intent to sell his airplane. We had 3 buyers who it didn't work out with. Judge, can you get to the point? His attorney says, it shows he's trustworthy.